folks, I'm back with another video. It's my wizard this time. I just got level 24, which means new spells. And let's take a look. 169 damage, that's not bad. It's a little more efficient than my magic-based attack. Oh dang, hope that thing doesn't get too close. There you go. These things are mostly green right now. I kinda struggled trying to figure out where to go to XP today. And ultimately decided upon KFC. Just because in South Carolina the experience is pretty good. And I've been playing for, I guess maybe an hour, let me see. Yeah, I've been playing for about an hour and a half. Of course you have to factor in travel time. So, an hour is pretty fair. Maybe about an hour and 15 minutes I've been at it. So, and yeah, I managed to get a full yellow bubble in order to get my level. But of course at level 24 I get new port spells. Self-port only, but still it's pretty nice. More places that I can go. I think I might have to go to North Carolina to get my Dreadlands Gate. But yeah, there you have it. Another wizard video at last. Don't really play my wizard all that much. Of course, because my wizard is just an alt. And I want to be more focused on my cleric, of course. But yeah, I still like my wizard a lot. Packs a lot of punch. Have a lot of mana, which means I have to set in my butt all the time, but I'm used to that, playing a cleric. I'm used to being on my butt all the time, but at least wizards get a little more action than clerics do as far as dealing damage. So yeah, I was actually gonna come on yesterday and make a video, but I ended up forum questing instead. Something that I do every great once in a while just to see what people are saying and sometimes get a good laugh. And don't actually post anything because that would actually require me to put in a password and I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy to do stuff like that. So I just lurk, and occasionally I'll find something good that's worth checking out. One thing that people have been talking about a lot is the future of the server. Oh, hello, Mr. Elephant. Yeah, a lot of people talk about the future of this server and what's gonna happen since, you know, Velius is the very last expansion pack that they're gonna be implementing into Project 1999. And they still got more patches to go in order for there to be everything from Velius on this server. So a lot of people speculate as to what's going to happen to the server. Namely, is the population going to die down? There are some people that speculate that, yeah, it will. The population will die down after a while, after everything's been implemented. I mean, it's been a year after Velius. And a lot of people have, in a sense, reached the end game content. Of course, Rampage did when they woke the sleeper. I mean, I guess that's technically in-game, but I don't know, I personally don't see the server dying down anytime soon. What you have to remember about Project 1999 is that it was made for people who want to come back to classic EverQuest. And, you know, I see a lot of that. Just a stupid egret. I'm gonna have to kill some greenies. That's part of KFC. But anyway, I know for myself, I'm not anywhere near done with the server. There's still a lot that I want to do, and I know for a lot of people that's the case. I mean, it's been a year after Velius, and the server population still seems pretty healthy, to me at least. You still seem to be breaking around 1,200 people a night on prime time. Yeah, as long as there are people that still want to come back and experience the classic days of EverQuest, I foresee this server being fine as far as population goes. And as far as agreement with Daybreak Games goes, the server's not going anywhere. The devs have talked about implementing custom content, though, which is interesting, and they said that, I think they implied that if they did that, they would be doing that on a completely different server. That they would create a whole new server and implement their custom content. Or something along those lines. But yeah, I think that would be really interesting to check out. I mean, if you wanted to keep longtime players, you would have to implement new stuff in order for them to explore and whatnot. I mean, if they did try to add new zones to this server, I mean, I guess that would be cool and all. But I would think that you would have to raise the level cap in order for it to make it worthwhile for people who have reached endgame with their characters to be interested in coming back. But personally, I wouldn't really want them to do it that way. I think it would be a better idea for them to make a whole new server and do their own thing, and that would probably be really cool to check out if they ever do it. I mean, it's all up to them and whether or not they have the time and the ambition to do something like that, but I think that they've at least hinted that they're interested in doing something like that along the line after they've fine-tuned this server and it's as perfect as they can make it. I think I had read somewhere that this server is supposed to be somewhat of a museum of the classic era of EverQuest. So, yeah, it's best for them to keep it the way it is. I mean, of course, fine-tune it, but keep it up to Velius and nothing else. And then open up another server that keeps the spirit of classic EverQuest, but adds new things to it. I mean, I personally think that would be pretty awesome. It would be like experiencing a whole new EverQuest for the very first time. Really the most important thing pertaining to this server, I think, is to just preserve the spirit of the classic era of EverQuest as best as you can. Because that's really the #1 reason why I left Live shortly after Luckland was I really didn't like the path that the game was taking, or the path that the devs were taking with the game. I felt that they were really just kind of sucking the character out of EverQuest. And I just did not care for it. And the funny thing about it is, the only thing that I really remember about Luckland is, you know, Mooncats and the new graphics and how I didn't care for really both of them. That's all I really remember about it. I mean, that should probably give you an idea of how little time I spent with it. It's either that or I just really wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's all I really remember. And even with that, I didn't like that. Like, I understand that some people prefer the Luckland graphics over the classic graphics. I mean, I understand that. I mean, to each their own. I personally prefer this type of graphics just because, in my mind, I mean, this is EQ to me. This is how I always remembered it, and this is what I mean, it's familiar to me, it's endearing to me, and I always just felt like the art style of classic EverQuest had a lot of character to it. I mean, you don't really find any MMOs that like have this kind of art style. And back when EverQuest was new, I mean, this was cutting edge graphics. Might be hard for some of the younger people to believe, but yeah, there was a time when this was considered beautiful graphics. But I ultimately prefer these graphics to the Luckland one. I mean, I look at the Luckland ones and it reminds me too much of World of Warcraft. And the funny thing about it is that the Luckland expansion came out, I think, 2 years before World of Warcraft. And yet, I still associate the graphics with World of Warcraft. Funnily enough. I mean, it's not completely the same. I know. The thing about KFC, though, is that spawns are kind of random. So like for example, right here we got a Harrier. If somebody were to kill that, it could respawn as a Darter, an Avocet. Or you can have everything be egrets and you gotta kill them all. Yeah, this place can be work. But I cannot take the Harriers though, so I gotta settle for the lower stuff. That's a Darter though. And that's a Darter too. Let's kill these. but it's nice to finally be level 24. I had been meaning for so long to get it. Now I'm finally here, and my spells look pretty. That's another darter, but I don't got the mana for it. Oh, playing a wizard is so awesome with the direct damage, but the medding part is just blah. And I can't cannibalize like a chamois can. And I don't have clarity. Major suckage where that's concerned. But yeah, enjoy this rare footage of my wizard. Like I said, I'm not playing her as much right now. Just because I have other things that I want to do, especially with my cleric, and I think that I found a guild that I want to join at long last, and I'm pretty excited about that. Once I join a guild, I can get on with raiding again and work on my epic again. Which I'm pretty excited about that. Those are both things that I've been wanting to do for a while now. It's been quite a while since I last raided. I think I last raided must have been fall of last year, so yeah. And the only reason that it's been that long is because, of course, I had to take my forced hiatus because my computer wasn't working. And I needed to get a new one. And then it kind of took me a little while to get back into EQ once I did get my new computer. Because there were some other games that I wanted to play. And I will be playing some other games. And I considered recording myself playing some other games. I just installed I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream. And I'm thinking about making a playthrough of that one. It's a really interesting game. It's a game from the 90s. PC game, and it's based off of a short story by what was his name, Harlan Ellison. He was a prolific sci-fi and horror writer back in the 60s and 70s. Kind of a has-been, I guess. I mean, I've heard that he's been, like, really anti-digital until recently. So, I think a lot of his books and short stories haven't really gotten out there because of that. But a lot of people remember the game, I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream. And that's probably the one thing that's made him relevant, or keeps him relevant, in this day and age. So we got a blue bee here. Let's keep, this is a pretty nice spell. It's 10 less than this one, right? The one on the very top of my spell list. But whatever. It's still fine. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll switch between the two. Yeah, I should check that out, see how that works for me. Although I don't imagine that that would save me too much mana. Yep, this is my life. Just nuking and sit. I'm trying to think of anything else to say. I don't know if I do. What's the time? Or how long have I played yet? An hour and 44 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I didn't put on the stopwatch on my phone. Forgot to do that, so I don't really know how long I've been recording for. Oh, who's that? Sentry Alekin or Alekin? No, he just glowers. Yeah, even though I'm a dark elf, I worship Solusek, not Anarok. And well, I could have been agnostic on this character, I think, but I don't know. Even when I have the choice to be agnostic, I don't typically choose it. Just because, I don't know, in my mind that's kind of boring. And I don't even really roleplay, but I still think that's kind of boring. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not agnostic or an atheist in real life. Maybe that influences the way that I create my characters. I don't know, who knows, I just personally think it's kind of boring. Of course, if you want to make your characters agnostic, go right ahead. I don't care. You play the way you want. But I'm not really sure how faction works out for this character, since she is a dark elf, but she doesn't worship the Prince of Hate. She worships Solusek. Now it looks like somebody's looking for Bro Quinn. Must have to do a turn-in for their epic. Of course, you can kill him for his robe. I've been in a raid that did that. He's really, really tough. And really the thing that makes him tough is that he's very magic resistant. Basically, you need a lot of DPS and a lot of healers. Just one dude, but you can wipe. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. There's another darter. You have to get rid of those egrets, though. And of course, another really big spawn in this game is Quill Mean. And he's a really big pain in the butt to spawn. There are certain placeholders that you have to kill. It's mainly lionesses and elephant calves, I think. And you have to kill those for a while, and then eventually Quill Mean should spawn. But he spawns at random areas. Like, I think that there are set points in the zone where he will spawn, but you never really know in what area he's gonna pop up in. So it's really useful to have a ranger along with you, or maybe even a couple of rangers. I mean, bards can track too, and so can druids, but as far as I know, rangers have the best tracking skills. And so it's useful to have them along. Either that, or you can have a group of 4 people stand on the known spots that he pops up in. And then you take him down, you get a Pegasus cloak, or Peggy cloak as people call it, and it has levitate on it. Well, somebody did get it earlier on. Yeah, it grants you levitate. Pretty sure it's a clicky, so you could just right click on it and it gives you levitate, which is really nice. Like, I'd love to get one on my cleric one day. No, isn't this the most exciting thing ever? I guess I could technically cut out all the medding parts, but oh, whatever, I'm not gonna do it on this video. Maybe I'll do it sometime in the future. In future videos, I may cut out the medding parts. But, you know, I've been trying not to have dead air with the medding parts anyway. Kind of been using them as an opportunity to actually provide commentary. But medding is just boring. Who wants to watch that, right? So I may consider just pausing the video whenever I med and oh, whatever. I think I will go ahead and kill those egrets. Should have enough mana to do it. They're greens. I guess I can. Okay. Wow, actually got experience from that. Yeah, I didn't get experience from that one. Ooh, I got a ruin though. Nice. Of course, wizards need that for their research. And I haven't really made any kind of dent in research on this character. Been trying to... Well, last time I seriously played, I was trying to practice the research. Because you have to practice, make practice ruins in order to get your skill up in research, and that way you'll have a better chance at succeeding at making spells. But it's just kind of a pain in the butt because you need so many different things in order to make practice ruins, and just blah. Because, you know, you need to make... Well, what you do is you make two separate kinds of practice ruins, and then you have to, I guess, put them together in your research book in order to make one, like, I guess one practice ruin. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But in order to make those two separate practice ruins, you have to get all this different crap. And each practice ruin takes, like... See, I got some of the supplies here, and these are used to make one kind of practice ruin. Yeah, that you need that too. Let me try this. I don't remember if these are all the things you need. Let me try this out. Okay, so I must need something else that I'm not remembering, but yeah, you combine these three things with something else. Oh, somebody's buffing me up. Oh. Trot. But yeah, you combine those things that I show you with something else that I'm not remembering, and you'll get like this, I think the Bezier ruin. It's what it's called. And then you need to combine some other things like rusty weapons, bone chips, something else to get the Azia or Azia ruin. And then you take the Azia ruin and the Bezier ruin, you put them together, and that's if you succeed, you get a practice ruin, and it may or may not skill up your research skill. And that's what you need to do. It's a big old pain in the butt, and I hate having to gather things for it, but I could technically just buy all the spells that this tune needs, but I figured I would go ahead and just do it, you know? Just do it the legitimate way, I suppose. Anyway. Alright, so this video is probably about half an hour long, probably longer than that, but you know, I think this is a good place to stop it. I've said all I want to say. Well, as far as I know, I've said all that I want to say, and I think I've given you a pretty good idea of what my new spell can do. I mean, this is the only direct damage spell that I have right now for this level. And there's some quad kiting spells that I need to be researched, or I could just buy them, like I said. But yeah, I think that I'm going to stop the video right here, so thank you so much for watching. See you next time.